notification.
I was like, what happened?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It came back right on time for the drop.
Yeah. Man, I could just feel myself flying right now. Can't you?
Dude, so funny story. Can I start talking?
Yeah.
Okay. Just like funny story. I used to be in wrestling back in high school.
Oh, snap.
And
Tell me.
I would listen to this before the matches.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it would hype me up. I'm a big Superman fan, but it would genuinely hype me up. And one of my wrestling buddies he gave me an iTunes gift card to buy whatever I want.
Okay.
I bought the soundtrack for Man of Steel.
That is what's up, man.
And it would hype me up.
Yeah, I could agree with you more. I could not agree with you more, man. This soundtrack and Hans Zimmer, like he's just wow. Like this guy is he's an artist. I mean, it's wow. Like, I mean, have you seen a Netflix special of him actually, where he's doing the whole symphony? I mean, it's amazing, bro. He has Dark Knight trilogy in there. He has everything he's ever worked for, superhero wise, Interstellar. I mean,
it's like behind the scenes stuff.
No. So it's like an orchestra. He does a whole orchestra.
It's looping all of his different stuff.
A sold out theater just goes to watch him perform. Damn. That's it. I mean, bro, once you become that legit, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's funny too, because even in the past, after he did the Dark Knight, he was all like, "Oh yeah, I'm done with superhero movies, doing like the work." And then what? He keeps coming back for more, man. I'm telling you, it's that money truck. Let's get right to it, guys. What's going on, everybody? Movie Talk fans out there. I'm Ryan D, aka Ryan 680, and I got special guests here, ladies and gentlemen, who we've been talking about way before the COVID-19, and I've been wanting to get you on the show, man, for the very longest time. And we're both Disney lovers. We'll talk about that another day. But so let's get right to it, man. I mean, Lex, introduce yourself. What is your passion right now, man? What do you love so much? You said Superman was one of your favorite characters.
Yeah,
that you love. Tell me more.
So well, first and foremost, once again, I'm Lex. Ryan and I, we've been friends. We both share similar passions, right? So when it comes down to the movie world and the video world and things like that, I think I have a rooted love for the stories that people tell and how they tell them. And comic books is one of those first formats. I didn't grow up like reading too many comic books. Like as a kid, as a teenager, I picked up and then just it blew up for me. But super passionate about once again, greater than life icons. And it doesn't always have to be superheroes, but when you see like films or documentaries about artists and composers and things like that, like it's just every format and every story, when it's good, it makes you learn things, and it teaches you things about yourself, about how you feel about certain ways, or like sometimes there's even a deeper message beyond everything. So I think that's why like movies and shows have always been a part of me. I feel it's a great format of entertainment, and
couldn't agree more.
All in all, like even with the relationships that I've built over the years, I have people that are, filmmakers, and people that have allowed me and teach me certain things about filmmaking. And so the whole art form is a beauty to me for sure.
Yeah, and then you got a podcast too, man. I mean, share your passion, man, about this podcast that I have listened to in the past. I'll admit it, I've listened to it, and you're one of the few I listen to, because that's the funny thing, because it's very rare that I listen to a podcast. It's just because I'm very picky, man. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm very picky, and so if it doesn't intrigue me on the main topics I care and passion and heart, then I'll be like, okay, next or something. But to be honest, like it's just movies and everything in general for me. It's been filmmaking, anything with every film's a work of art. What I really do, of course, I'm more of a DC fan. Sad to say, right as of right now, but I mean, if anything,
it's the best time to say it right now. Kinda, sort of.
Yeah, like, kinda. Well, we'll get into that. But explain. So share one with the podcast that you actually do, man. Which I do love the title. So share it, man.
Thank you. Yeah. So I'm a co-host of the podcast Not in Theaters. And so me and my friend Josh, we kind of started an idea after watching Star Wars: The Last Jedi, actually. And
Oh wait,
we would, yeah, no, personally, we had issues with it.
I have
Not
many
like,
issues with it. Rant.
not like I'm done with Star Wars. Like I never crossed that line.
Okay.
Uh,
No,
but
no, no, me neither. Yeah.
without getting too much into the Star Wars situation, basically we talked about like what we would have done differently, and it kind of stemmed the idea. We had thought about doing in the podcast about something completely unrelated. We thought about food for a little bit and things like that. And it never just burned the fire inside of us. But when we started talking about, well, how would you have done this movie different? In this case, Last Jedi, we started thinking like, hey, I think like I always watch videos on YouTube about fan casting,
Yeah.
fan
Theories.
picks or alternate universe, alternate endings, all that stuff. And I was thinking, these conversations are genuinely interesting, even amongst us. Like I could talk about it all day. So I told them, like, what if we were to just focus on a podcast? Granted, it's not all we do, but what if we focus on a podcast that talks about things that are not in theaters? And so, like, let's say if a movie would have been created by someone else, or like what if our very first episode, which is one of my favorite ones, is what if Mr. Miyagi had his solo film, like an origin story.
Yeah, I love that. I love that idea.
Things like that.
Yeah.
And we've gotten creative with it on some episodes where like which movie would you like to change the genre of? So like I had made a submission of what if The Mask, the movie with Jim Carrey, was a horror movie. Right. So it's like
snap. Okay, I listened to that one. Oh, snap. That's great.
And we just go off on what if we were to make these films. Granted, we're not at the level of expertise that Hollywood filmmakers are. No. But from a story and from a fan standpoint, I think we're very good at coming up with like things that at least look good on paper. And that's kind of how the podcast all started. It's once again not in theaters. Technically, it has a sub name, which is a What If series, and then we do other things. So we do coverage of certain news and announcements, new things that we've watched. There, we call it the warm up, which sometimes the warm up is 30 minutes, and then so it's a true.
And then you go to the big topic
situation. And so we're kind of playing with it. A lot of people have said they like the warm up, and then we've had people that want kind of like the meat of the episode, so we're still playing with it. We're working on our cadence for how often we release episodes. Of course, currently with the situation in the world, it's been hard to meet up all the time and get episodes cooked up, but we have a catalog of about 22 episodes for anyone that seems to be interested in this kind of podcast, and we appreciate you, Ryan, and your platform to be able to get me here and definitely just have good talk with you.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, I love collaborating with with everybody who's ever willing to, especially with hopefully everyone's staying safe with this COVID-19 and everything. And now's the time to listen to podcasts, YouTubers, blogs. I mean, now's the perfect time to watch everything besides being on TikTok. Let's stay away from TikTok because it's creating the world to have like an attention span of 5 minutes, like not even 5 minutes. It's like like 30 seconds. Like it just, it's probably shorter than that, but it's creating us to have this small attention span. But all right, so let's get right to it. So many mixed thoughts on here. So HBO Max comes out in 5 days. I saw that on Twitter today. So today I saw a Twitter post from HBO, and then DC Comics. Funny, DC Comics, of course they retweeted it, and then same thing with Warner Brothers. So everyone was just retweeting, right? So, before they announced, I'm going to talk about this. Before they announced Justice League, obviously, the main topic we're talking about. Were you getting HBO Max, or you already have or were you thinking about getting it, or did you already have like a priority to get it already, or?
For me, I think since the announcement, well,
what sold you? Friends? Don't tell me Friends sold you.
No. Unfortunately, I tried to get. I enjoy the occasional episode. I've personally never seen it from beginning to end and things like that. So it's not. I don't want to say it's not my cup of tea. I enjoy it.
It's not my cup of tea.
I don't have it running on the background or anything like that. For me, it took me a month about the announcement, after the announcement, which they had announced the plans for it at least last year. But at first we didn't have enough details. And my my hesitancy behind it was I don't know yet how it's different from what we have now, like what we have now, which is HBO Now and stuff.
Yeah. So Friends, of course Friends was on Netflix for the longest time, and then it came on. That's when I believe HBO bought it out for so many millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And they said, we're the only ones who are going to keep it. It's ours now. And we're going to keep Friends, and they posted it. They did like, oh guys, we're going to keep Friends in HBO. And then I come to find out Big Bang Theory is going to be on HBO Max.
Yeah.
All the seasons. I know it's funny though, because I've heard different kinds of geeks, nerds, whatever you want to call us, different kinds of people, and some people actually love the show, and some people are just like, eh.
My friends hate it. I love it.
Okay, yeah.
I love Big Bang Theory.
I don't want to say I love certain episodes, the Justice League episodes, of course, because it's Warner Brothers and everything. But I'm not gonna say I love the show. It's good to entertaining. Like I'll have it on the background, just like, oh, while I'm editing, I'll watch it on the background.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm editing or something. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
So it's I don't want to say it's tolerable. That's a bad word, but it's good. I'll just say that it's good, and I love certain episodes.
It's been a while since I saw it like in a binging nature. Like personally, I don't know how it ends. I know it ended, but I don't know how it ends.
Yeah. So it ends very cheesy. I'll say that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't watching it to the extent because I couldn't find a spot to watch it. And I mean, naturally, CBS being the previous rights owners, they're also, in my opinion, they keep it close to the heart. And CBS or Big Bang Theory, for example, unless you got it through a certain cable provider that had exclusivity, you would only be able to get it like CBS All Access.
All Access,
to me, All Access is not there for me as far as like me adding it to my.
Unless you're a Star Trek fan, that's really it.
No, and I'm not.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I think for those people, for sure, get it. But so I lost track of the show a few seasons back. Actually, I think maybe 4 seasons that I'm missing. Okay. But back when I was watching and as it came out, I remember just loving it, having fun with it. My friends hate it, but I personally like it. I find it funny. But yeah, it's a mixed bag for some people, and that's natural. I think that's true for every franchise or every. I don't think I've ever found something that everyone loves.
Yeah. Speaking of not that everyone loves, let's talk about this Justice League film that's coming out next year. First off, I know we haven't really talked about it, and I don't know if you've seen the episodes where I talk about Justice League. I guess we could talk about the one that did come out, and then of course the extended cut. Let's talk about that one first, and we'll go. So, what did you think? I know we haven't really touched base on that whatsoever, so I want to know your thoughts on it, man.
No, for sure. So when it comes down to the theatrical release of Justice League, I enjoyed it. I'm a fan. I'm a big fan of the Justice League. I can't call it an excellent or even great film. Even as a hardcore fan, I don't put it there. It was good to me, but it was like immediately evident that it was pieced up together by different minds and different styles. Yeah, and you could feel that. And for me, I wanted a finished, uniform, polished finish of that movie because of the buildup, and because, granted, it wasn't a 12-year buildup like Marvel, but even just Batman versus Superman, Man of Steel, it got me interested enough to see the culmination of these characters meeting for the first time. And so when you have characters you love, actors playing those characters, and you love their casting choices, which I do.
You okay?
When you have that in a movie that's, once again, pieced the way it was, you have too many things distracting you, like things that are in the back of your head is like, that shot is not the same color grading as this shot. It takes you away. And that was the main thing on why I can't label it great or excellent.
I wouldn't even. Yeah, the words you're putting it as, it's so. Matt, Lex, you're great, man. I mean, you put the words into the word choice you did is so respectful. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to downgrade it, go on a little rant. This movie was effing awful. Like I'm be honest, like I hyped it up so much. I'm not gonna lie. You could go back on my YouTube videos. I hyped it up so much. It's gonna change everything. This is gonna change. The Avengers is gonna be nothing now. It's gonna be freaking Justice League all the way. Here it goes. Zach is in the game. Let's go. And then we got more reports of saying reshoots, changes. This is right before the movie, and I was just like, "Oh my god, what is going on here? Why are Warner Brothers executives coming in trying to change something that's Zach is trying to do?" But it was the backlash, and this was obviously before. This was right after Dawn of Justice. BVS that came out, and so many people had disagreements with that. And it's funny too because I talked with Juan and Justin, who are a part of Alamo City Movie Talk crew, and they don't like BVS. And you can go back to our YouTube videos. It's just they don't like BVS. They throw BVS at me all the time, but I stand behind it. I stand behind that work of art film. Yeah.
BVS, yeah. I love.
Okay,
BVS,
yeah.
I think
we could agree.
Great.
Yeah, we could agree there. But and then you have to understand, though, ladies and gentlemen, moviegoers out there, everyone out there that's really judgmental towards DC, you have to really understand, guys. Zach had one goal. The 10 years that Marvel took to make, their whole universe. Warner Brothers wanted him to do it in one movie or two. Let's say two movies. We'll give him more runtime because Man of Steel, I guess let's start with that. Warner Brothers is trying to catch up. Hey, we need to catch up. We need to catch up. We need to catch up. Yeah. Warner Brothers Marvel's beating us right now. Like we need to catch up. And here's the thing. When you try to jump it all together in one movie, we all knew it. The fans knew it. The executives knew it. Everybody knew it. I mean, Zach had one. I mean, it was a long movie, Dawn of Justice. It was. But to me, it wasn't long because obviously I enjoyed it. But to see the fact of the matter is that it's not the actor's fault. It's not the writer's fault. It's mainly I blame whoever was in charge of DC, which was Jeff Johns, I think. Jeff Johns. Yeah.
From the movie standpoint, he was
so. And the funny thing is, he didn't even want to be like. He came out and did an interview like 6 months ago. He's like, "Oh yeah, I want to step down or I want to do other stuff." So I'm just like, why did Warner Brothers hire somebody who really kind of is not full on in? Like he wants to do his own which is cool. Do your own projects and everything. That's awesome. Do that. Bring us more film. Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. I also think that a lot of times those interviews, what really happened is he got let go.
Yeah,
or if it's someone as respectable as Jeff Johns, because I mean he's
been around since Smallville.
Yeah.
Like he's done shows. He's been around the DCU for so long.
When it's someone respected, they usually just relocate him to a different department or a different division. And so in interviews, it's like, well, I wanted to do this and be creative on this part of it. It's usually how those interviews go. Whereas the conversation may have been, they let me go. And exactly. Else. Like I'm still paid. I'm still all this stuff. But I think that's likely what happened.
And then they moved offices. I mean, they were going back and forth, and it was just all corporate fiasco. It was just everything was everywhere. So BVS. I love the score to BVS. Oh my god, that score is so amazing. Hans Zimmer, like we started off the show today. He's great. I love the score so much. How can they get the score so on point, and the movies it's the storytelling. But okay, so going back to so BVS, we agree was a great movie, right? We could agree on that.
No, absolutely. That one I categorized as great.
Yeah. Ben Affleck was at that time. Ben Affleck was good, great. He was good. I'll say good. I'm being too. I
still think he's my favorite Batman in terms of of how close he is to the actual comic books.
Oh, like facial wise, or
well, even like you look at the suit and you look at the based on what they were going for, which is the Dark Knight, the Dark Knight version of Batman. I think they landed all those things. So I think it's as close as a representation as you're going to get from something to the comic book. So like, that's why he, at least in my opinion, even like to the level that he could, based on the fact that he didn't get his own movie and all that stuff, I think he is a good Batman because of that.
And so I ask everybody that whenever we talk about BVS, when we talk about Batman or anything that had to do with the DC cinematic universe, do you think since they were working backwards, do you think they should have done it the way Marvel did it, where it take 10 years? Because I don't think 10 years that's too long. That's way too long.
Yeah,
and they tried to do that. I'm sorry, but they tried to do that. They tried to do what it's funny too, because even the Dark Knight Rises, you could tell like they were forcing Christopher Nolan. If nobody knows this, guys, I mean, come on. They were trying to make Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight. So the Dark Knight Rises was supposed to introduce us to a DC character. So like it was trying to set up DCU, but Christopher Nolan was like, no, this is, this. I mean, I don't want to say this is his Batman, but this is Nolan's version of Batman, and that's it. It's nothing more, nothing less. Yes, Catwoman's in there, and then they give a little hint that it's Robin, But but I just feel like Warner Bros. Was just trying to, because of that time, everyone was so in love with the Dark Knight Rises, everyone was so in love with the Dark Knight trilogy, and it brought so much emotion, seriousness to the Batman role that we never have ever gotten. Heath Ledger, rest in peace, great actor. So it was just kind of, timing was just very off for them, I would say, because it's kind of hard. Like, hey guys, there's this Batman. We just finished Dark Knight Rises. We finished that trilogy. Oh, it's kind of hard. Oh, we're gonna do a follow-up Batman. And it's gonna be totally different. It's gonna be like, I think that would have kind of pissed off fans. Not me, because if they could come out with a Batman movie every year, I don't even care if it's the same Batman. It could be different. But I'll be happy. But it's just, I think it would not please fans if that did happen.
I don't think like they needed to take the same approach as Marvel. Now, granted, it was a 10 plus year buildup for something like Endgame, right? But when it comes down to it, Iron Man coming out in 2008 and the first Avengers movie being in 2012. I mean, at least for the main characters, Captain America, Thor, and things like that. I mean, it was about. 4 year buildup.
4 year. Let's say yeah.
I said 10 years earlier, but I meant like as far as like the culmination of everything. Which is kind of what Justice League was attempting to be. And I don't even think they would have needed the 4 years. I don't think they would have needed all of the solo films. And the reason why is because when done well, something like Guardians of the Galaxy, we never met those characters before that movie came out. And it's a group of multiple characters.
Nobody knew anything. A comic book that doesn't even have a lot of comics.
And you end the movie loving at least most of the characters, knowing a little bit of everything, and loving the dynamic. So the argument of like they needed to do it the same way Marvel needed to do, Marvel has proof of how you don't need to always do that on group films. Now, granted, the scale of characters in Justice League is tenfold compared to Guardians of the Galaxy from how big of individual characters they are, like Superman, Batman.
It's good. That's great that you brought up Guardians of the Galaxy, because I would say they tried to do Warner Brothers. I hate to say try. I really do. I hate to say that. I hate to compare, be like, oh, they're trying to copy Marvel, because no. Let's be real here, guys. Marvel's not the first superhero. I mean, the first superhero movie was X-Men, I believe. Come on. I mean, or Blade, if you want to count. Blade.
I think it's actually Blade. Yeah,
Blade. Okay, we'll count Blade. All right, Blade. And so, all right, let's put that out there, okay? It wasn't Marvel, guys. Okay, but the thing is that I was just like, I would compare Guardians to Suicide Squad, which is another issue that Suicide Squad was just, oh my god, that was just they didn't give David Ayer, they didn't give him what he wanted, and this is the cause of it. He came out and even said it tweet. He's all like, "Hey, they did not let me have Joker as the main villain," which is why Enchantress was the main villain. Was beyond my why doesn't make. I mean, it didn't make any sense to me. I was just like, oh, okay, because from the trailers, I was like, oh, okay, Joker's got to be the he's going to be the villain. We're getting new Joker, and then if it doesn't work out, let's just try to do Let's just try to do Suicide Squad. We'll see how it goes. But it felt more like it was like Harley Quinn and Will Smith. It felt like it was them two, Margot Robbie and Will Smith, because the camera was mainly on both of them as the leads, almost. Yeah. So it was kind of hard to follow. I just feel like Warner Brothers was trying to force a Guardians move, because I was like, hey, let's do Suicide Squad because they did Guardians. We got to catch up. Like that's their main goal. And of course you should do that, but don't force it, and don't try to make it unnatural and have it just, let's just put out content, especially at an upscale studio they are.
Yeah, and I think that was also the direction that the previous leadership of at least
Yeah.
the Warner Brothers DC portion of it, because if you look it up, a lot of the head studio runners, they got replaced. So currently
Yep.
it's Walter Hamada,
Yeah.
who did a great job at like all the Conjuring and all that stuff, right?
Yep.
Successful franchises. So
Oh,
now
great.
he's running
James
that.
Wong.
But the previous direction was about that rush and that catch up game, which I
Yeah.
understand as a business, like, yeah, you
Yeah.
kind of have to do that, go with the market. Perhaps they thought that the superhero market was near saturation, which is not true.
Which is not. Yeah. No.
But if they
No.
thought that, I could see why they were trying to rush so much.
And it backfired.
It did, and of course it did. And now under new leadership, you've seen DC take a step back and kind of work more
Yeah.
on these individual movies, which I
Yeah.
think it has worked in terms of healing
Yeah.
the brand process.
Exactly. And yeah, I'm it's great that you brought up that point. I'll agree with that because I mean Wonder Woman, oh man, Wonder Woman, Aquaman were a better movie than, I hate to say that, dude. I mean, it was a little bit better movie than Justice. It gets me pissed off and angry because I'm just like, you have the animation so on point with like just it's just like, wow,
Yeah.
this is the DC movie I've always wanted, and they keep upscaling it. They just came out with the DC movie last month,
Yeah.
and I was just like, what the like, bro, that DC is a killer movie. Like, I love the DC movie, the DC animation movies. I'm sorry, I keep talking the animation movies. I just don't understand why they can't just do the exact same script, just use the exact same story, guys. Why can't you? The old school. Okay, do you remember the old school Justice League movie? The very first one when the aliens come and John Martian Manhunter is he's captured by them. The Martian.
Is that the one where with the original, like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
The Justice League that was a show.
Yes.
And then they made a
exactly.
movie. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I remember.
So
I do remember.
yeah, why didn't they just copy that movie? Why?
Well,
I mean,
I would like for them to copy the way they treat it. Like, I know that some things may not translate from live action or like some things are too expensive to do or like in an animation movie, you can have a shot with 50 DC legends, like DC characters.
Yeah.
But in the live action movie, you have to pay each of those actors X amount of money, right? And if they're big actors, right? So some things may not translate all the way, but from the way they treat and know the characters, I agree that they should have treated some things as an animation. Like in the sense of
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Just like in the sense of how much thought, like when you watch an animated DC film, they know the characters and they take them further.
Yeah.
So from that standpoint, I agree.
I would say, okay, so the new 52 series that came out, which was I think it was Justice League War. That was a new 52 series that they launched DC animation. So that was amazing. Like, you introduced us to a new Batman. I mean, it's awesome. Pretty much a restart, a reboot, I guess you could say. Why it just mind blows me. Like, I don't know why they weren't able to do this in the live action. Now, when you're talking about getting those actors and actresses and everything, I was like, hey, you don't have to get a Batman that's known in a sense, because I don't even think that many. I mean, American Psycho, I guess Christian Bale, American Psycho, Michael Keaton wasn't even as famous as he was when they first did the verse Batman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you could still get those people that are not that as popular, so they don't cost as much. Now, when you talked about the CGI and everything, I was just like, bro, everything was CGI Justice League. I was all like, dude, everything was CGI, which I hated so much. I just don't understand why they did not use like in all bets aside though, Zack Snyder, he's a filmmaker. He's not a superhero filmmaker. Okay, that's a fact. He's a filmmaker. He's made other movies, obviously Watchmen, or different other movies besides Sucker Punch, or besides what he made, Justice League and BVS and Man of Steel. Why didn't he have grounds, like at least the ground be real, and then like CGI at the top? Why did you CGI Batman's cape? Why did you CGI Superman's cape? Like, it just, all these things that are CGI'd, I did not like whatsoever. It just felt so unnatural. It kept getting me out of the movie. I was just like, bro, like why is his cape, like his cape just looks, I don't want to say it looks fake, but it just doesn't look right. Like it just, I don't know, it just didn't look too realistic for me, I guess, in that sense. So stuff like that, I was just like, all that money, that probably spent millions. That probably was probably, how much you think how much the capes were for Batman and Superman?
I don't know. I don't know about the capes. Like in terms of price point, I know their reasoning behind it was like mobility for certain shots. Like you're more restricted when you're trying to film an action sequence and you have a real cape, which I understand. I'm good with CG as long as I can't tell it's CG.
Could you tell?
And for the most part, Batman's cape, I don't remember being able to tell. Superman, I was able to tell on some scenes in Man of Steel. Yeah. But there were scenes where it just looked cool. Like the way it flipped, like it never defied like physics and things like that to the point where I was like, that's just like super fake. It never went to that. But I know also Zack Snyder did it not only for the convenience of the shots that you can take, but also the kind of like flap that you can give to Superman while he's floating in the air, and those create like certain cinematic shots that you're like, wow, like that's from the comic book, right? So I understand certain levels of it. Like other things though, me for example, I didn't like Cyborg CGI too much.
No, oh my god, yes.
But actually, I think it's also even the design itself. I think they went for that whole like organic, like alien like, but I didn't like that because at the end of Justice League, when they give a little like look at more of a classic Cyborg look, I was like, oh hey, I like that. We could have done something like that. But even then you could tell there were certain things where you could just, and like I said, when you can tell and it's taking you out of the movie, that's when it becomes a problem. But I know I know there's some, especially villains. I don't think every villain should rely on CGI. No.
So I guess so Justice League, man. I mean, I just you could tell that this movie was made from different directors, obviously different storytelling, even different dark scenes. So like some scenes were like lighter than like it was weird. Like it was you'll go back and forth like almost the exact same scene, and you'll be like, wait, wasn't that darker like before? It was very vivid. It was I did not like that one bit.
There was times where I noticed that they were wearing wigs to match their hairstyle when they shot the scene many years or perhaps like many months before. I would notice when it would switch from an old scene or original scene to a new scene with a wig. I was able to catch on those things, not after watching it multiple times. On the first watching, I was there's many things like that taking you out.
I was so hyped while watching this movie in theaters, and then when it for about like 30 minutes in, I was like, oh god. I was like, don't tell me like the setup. The setup, which was BVS, of course. The very first 5 minutes of BVS I loved because it actually showed Batman. It was in there, of course. He's doing the Jeep Renegade at the time, the ad for Jeep Renegade. And then we saw the extended cut. The extended cut was just like not even. I mean, I'll say this: the extended cut wasn't like necessary. I guess I could say that in a sense.
I agree. Like I'm okay with what we got and enjoying the theatrical, but the extended cut would. I feel like the extended cut shuts up a few of the haters at least the points that they brought up. They might not shut up if they're truly just hating for hating. But
and there's a lot of people out there.
There were some problems, like when they said, oh, like the whole desert thing, that storyline, they give it so much little details here and there, and it was for nothing. It was kind of like in the background and things like that. You see the extended cut, there was a lot more to it. A lot more going on. And like the court scenes and things like that, like the people that would testify about against Superman, there was more scenes as to how they were affiliated with Lex Luthor, whereas in the theatrical release, we didn't get. The extended cut also gave me a little bit more respect for Lex Luthor, even though Jesse Eisenberg isn't my favorite.
Yeah. I think the one scene that really that I was all like, okay, it's gonna get better, it's gonna get better, it's gonna get better, it's gonna get better when we first saw him, and then when he put the Jolly Rancher in the other senator's mouth,
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my god,
That
I
was
can't believe.
cringe.
Yeah, I'm just like, this dude is really doing that. Like, how does this? Is this like what in your right mind do you think that's Lex? Like, what universe or what? Like,
Yeah.
But we won't go into we won't go into the Jesse Eisenberg thing. But let's go back to Justice League. So what? Obviously, the story plot wise and everything. Now that we got the extended cut too as well. Do you like? I mean, is there something that you really did love about BB? I mean, that you loved about Justice League that you could wholeheartedly defend? It could be a character. It could be. I mean, I'll defend some of the score, not all of it. But I'll defend some of that. But it's kind of hard to defend a movie that you don't even believe that was good, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And not to say it was the actors, because let's be honest, it wasn't the actors, the actresses' fault. None of their faults. It's just the way it was written, the way it was just very dull. I wanted it to be so dramatic, and it just wasn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If there's a few things that I can defend no matter what, it'll be, of course, the actor. I think Zack Snyder is a really good director from like a casting standpoint, because he does a lot of his own recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
And like when you look at, even in a short period of time, right? Like, once again, it wasn't a 4-year buildup like Marvel and things like that. But in a short period of time, people saw what your Aquaman looks like. Yep. They love him, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe not everyone, but you love him. He's iconic.
Most generally, yeah.
They changed the way Aquaman looks in the comics to resemble closer to Jason Momoa, right? Mm-hmm. Gal Gadot, iconic.
Yeah.
In her own movies, she expanded even better. Beautiful. And she made sure that people, it wasn't just eye candy. She's embodying Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And that was a casting that perhaps not a lot of people would have either saw coming or B predicted that she's gonna be it.
She's Israeli and she's got training too. All Israeli, like, come on.
Zack Snyder did that. Yeah. Same thing with Batman as well. Once again, I think Ben Affleck did really good for the Batman that they were doing in that setting.
Yeah. In BVS, I agree with you. In Justice League, it
was different. They changed them.
He was not just that, but like appearance wise, he was going through a lot with his divorce and everything that's going on, personal wise to him. You could kind of tell in this movie that he wasn't as built. He got fatter. And I did not like that, because you could tell
certain shots where you could see that.
Sitting down and talking to Wonder Woman, especially that scene, I was just like, dude, this, like, what the heck happened?
You could see that. And I think that's also part of the reshoots. I think they caught him at a time where he hadn't been preparing, because he had his stuff shot already.
Yeah.
So I think that also had a lot to do with the reshoots, because you could tell. But, once again, even from like the few things that we got from them, and even Ezra Miller, I know it's sensitive with him, but I think Zack Snyder saw something. So I think a lot of his stuff that got cut maybe would have put me on that same boat. But even Ray Fisher and things like that, even though I didn't like his like CGI too much and things like that, I think once we see the extra background stories that they gave him under Zack's original vision, I think they'll get to that point where we love him, like Aquaman, like Wonder Woman, like Superman, Henry Cavill, and things like that.
And of course, and then also John Marshall Manhunter is in Zack Snyder's original cut. So let's get right to it. Let's get right, because it's been 39 minutes and we haven't really going to. So but this is great talking. So let's get right to it, guys. So we're going to talk about we're going to go ahead and mention, of course, Zack Snyder's baby. The Zack Snyder cut is officially happening. So many expectations now, I would say, right? I would say so much expectations is really required here now. And so when this came out, what was your thoughts on it? Like when you first saw it, everyone's posting about it. I mean, what'd you think of it? Like the first thing that came into your mind, what was it? Like the first word, I guess you could say.
The first thing was finally. because I knew it was a thing.
Yeah.
I didn't believe we had a finished version of what the Snyder Cut has been, but I believe it existed. I believed a big part of Zack's content got completely thrown away, and you could tell there was things that you saw in the trailer that you didn't see here. There were people that they casted that weren't here at all.
Yeah.
And I just knew it right away. It felt off. So, and even once again, watching the movie, you could tell where new things were filmed and all this thing. So I was just finally. That was my first thing.
It's crazy because fans have been asking for this and everything. I mean, they have been for the longest time. And a lot of people are split on this decision. And even people I follow on YouTube, guys. I follow I guess 3 people. John Campia is one of them, and that I follow a lot on YouTube. And he was the biggest guy that was all like, "There's no Snyder Cut. There's no Snyder Cut whatsoever. Doesn't exist." All this stuff, right? And I was like, okay, whatever. I really don't care. Like, this is just like, this is what we got at the time. I was like, okay, this is what we have. This is what I have to deal with. Obviously that he was wrong, but even Zack had to. I think even Zack said it himself. It's not done. So they have to go back and edit it. It's just a lot of footage. But Warner Bros. Is saying, small reports, this is rumored, of course. They're saying it's going to cost a little bit more money to revamp it and make it into an actual finish it in the editing room and make it a movie. You know what I'm saying? So
Zack confirmed that.
Yeah.
Zack confirmed that from his assessment, he needed about 20 million. And it's now being reported that they're going to give him 20 to 30 million to finish it.
Wow.
And I'm hearing big shout out, one of the people that I follow both on Twitter and on YouTube is Grace Randolph. I don't know if you've seen her content, but her YouTube channel is Beyond the Trailer.
Oh yes, I've seen her.
She's really good at, like, I think she has really good sources because she's predicted some things far out. And one of the things that she's hearing is that all of the actors, including Henry Cavill, have gotten contract extensions, which means that they're actually going to shoot new footage altogether. That's the assumption under a contract extension, what it would do. So it's not just that they're going to finish CGI and polish up the content that they do have, which I do think it's a lot, because Zack Snyder said only 1/4 of his stuff was used.
It was used, yeah, exactly.
But these contract extensions, if true, mean they're shooting new stuff.
But see, how's that going to work with all the COVID stuff that's going on right now? It's going to make it. I mean, obviously, that's why they give it a time next year. But
I'm assuming it's little things. I'm assuming it's little additional footage. Because once again, I think the footage is there. I think a big part of the budget is being allocated to finish and edit and polish that up. But the fact that there's an extension, it just means there may be some things that they're going to fill in the gap, because he's also reportedly being given. Originally, he had said that his Snyder Cut was about 3 hours and 30 minutes. I think he had said.
Yeah. I've been hearing off and on run times.
So Zack had said his movie was about 3.5 hours, but he did say, of course, he probably needed to cut it for an ideal 3 hour span. This is before the tragedy happened that took him out of finishing the movie. But the report is saying that Warner Brothers and HBO Max are going to indeed approve between 3 to 4 hours.
Okay.
And so I am thinking they're not only going to finish what they have, but I'm thinking they're going to make sure it's as rich as possible in terms of content.
Okay. All right. So I guess my next question is, what if they're not able to do reshoots? You still think it's going to be a good? I mean, obviously it's going to be a game changer. Let's be honest here. It's going to be a whole different movie. It's going to be a different story. But obviously keep that one quarter story in. But how do you is it going to really change the bad taste and the bad crap that we have of this Justice League movie?
I think there's some people that are burned out no matter what.
Yeah.
I think a big part of the people
Agreed.
that that just hated not only Justice League, but if they've hated Man of Steel, if they've hated Batman v Superman, I don't think anything's going to change their mind. There's people on social media that have already rolled this movie out without having seen it.
A lot of people.
You saw Justice League, you saw parts of it, but I don't think, I think you have to treat this as its own thing, but I don't think it's going to change those people's minds. I think it could take an opportunity to give a breath of fresh air to the DC universe as a whole.
Yeah.
I think it can do that. I think it has the power to do that. I think it has the power of dictating the tone of the DC universe. So let's say this remains as, I still think there'll be levity because of how these characters are charismatic by nature. But I think, let's say it's still very like dark and a little bit edgier because of Zack Snyder's style.
Yeah.
And let's say people like that. I think this movie has an opportunity to then prove that that type of tone does work for a good audience of people if done right.
If done, yeah. That's the thing.
I once again, I just don't think it's going to convert haters, but I think it's just going to please people. It's just going to please people. Like, even if it's not a great movie, it's going to be under one vision.
Yes.
One person that made it. And
one
I think
vision
that's what,
under God. I'm just kidding.
and I think that's what people should be most excited about. It's good. It's not going to look like it did in Justice League. You're not going to have chopped up images.
Average moviegoers do not know that. You got to remember that. They're going to be like, oh, we're going to go see that crappy movie again. What? They're redoing it again? And I know it because even my neighbors are like, I didn't know anything about this.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, yeah, man.
Some people didn't even know about the Snyder Cut.
A lot of people. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I'm for it and everything. It's just, I just don't.
They're gonna need a trailer. Like, they're gonna need a balls to the wall, excuse my language, mic drop trailer. They're gonna need that. They're gonna need to show a trailer where you can evidently tell that it's a new thing.
New film.
They're gonna need that, and I can guarantee you they're gonna do something like that. Maybe not in the teaser, if they do a teaser. But if they do, let's say even just one or two trailers, I guarantee you in one of those trailers, you're going to get a shot of something that just truly feels different.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to.
I am. But here's the thing, though. I know I'm not ruling it out. I'm just done with Ben being Batman. I'm done. Like,
I don't think he's coming.
I'm done. Yeah. Obviously, he's not coming back. He said it. Yeah. I'm done with him being Batman. I was like, Justice League really killed it for me. I'm not gonna lie. There's not a Batman that I really. Besides the old cheesy ones, but there's in Justice League, the Justice League Batman that we got. I've never hated a Batman before in my entire life.
Really?
Until and the Justice League League Batman, not not the BVS one. A lot of reasons, because he just seemed very unprepared. This Batman was very unprepared. Like, I don't know. I just felt like the gadgets too. Like, I was just like, why is he like? It just seemed he was very unprepared. And then Cyborg was all like, all right, let me get in here and let me just mess up this Wayne tech. And I was just like, what the? A lot of it was unrealistic to me, because I was like, Batman's always prepared for everything, even no matter how agey. Even when he retired, he came back and started killing everybody. So it's just this Batman has always been somewhat prepared. And BVS, we saw like how he wasn't as powerful against Doomsday and all that, which was good because he's still human. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you have to share that light. Like, he's still human. You can't make him a Superman. You can't make him obviously because But was Doomsday okay? So BVS, was Doomsday a good choice to put in there so soon? I did not want him to be in there. I'll be honest. And then the trailer got released I think 2 or 3 months ago. It was probably longer than that, maybe even before BVS came out. And I was like, oh God, this is a weird day if Doomsday's coming out and we only got one Man of Steel movie, and you're setting up Batman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, Aquaman. You're setting up everybody in here.
I don't think I can make the call on whether it was it didn't feel like a great choice. I hated his design. That I can absolutely say. I hated his design.
Agreed.
I if their goal, which it was in the buildup of Justice League, was to kill Superman, right? Because that happened at the end of BBS, right? So that was all Zack Snyder. So that was part of his plan, and part of his plan was the Justice League was going to focus on that, bringing him back. If the goal was that, so if the studio and even just the creative team says at the end of this movie we have to kill him, I would have probably been just as upset if it's not Doomsday who kills him.
Okay.
So that's the reason I justify Doomsday being in there.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it was executed well, I don't think it was executed well. Zack Snyder has defended his point, just giving little teasers here and there, saying that that's not, and this could be a cop out, but he's saying that that's not the Doomsday we think it is. It was Doomsday, but it's not the Doomsday we think it is, because the real Doomsday was not. The real Doomsday was not in the comics a clone of a clone of Lex Luthor or anything like that. Yeah. He is from he was created by a scientist in Krypton. Which, fun fact, in Man of Steel, in one of the spaceships, I don't know if you knew this, but they created the Kryptonian language for the movie. So for the movie, they grabbed people that study languages, and they were in charge of creating a Kryptonian language. So they did legit create, like, from A through Z, they created a Kryptonian language. And in one of the spaceships, translated, it talks about the legend of Doomsday. And once again, this is the Doomsday from Krypton. And so Zack Snyder has dropped, long story short, has dropped a bunch of teasers about the Snyder Cut and things like that. And someone, not related to the Snyder Cut, someone did ask, like, hey, was that Doomsday the final Doomsday? And he's like, no, he's still out there. He replied on social media.
Why did he do that? I mean, it probably sounded a good plan on paper, but executed and everything, it just...
Well, I said, execution did not work. I know why they put him in here. I would have been mad once again if they try to kill off Superman another way. It has to be Doomsday. It wasn't the Doomsday that... If it wasn't the Doomsday that it was supposed to be, they should have done... I think
they should have killed him in Justice League. I think that would have been a lot better. I think that would have been a lot better. And then that way the world reacts to it, and then we're all depressed, of course. And then, but it's just, I mean, I think you should have waited at least one more movie. I felt like you should have waited.
I know.
It was two. One. Oh, I guess you could count BVS, or that's when he died, of course. But I mean, it was just he died at the end. But I guess you could say it was two movies, but I just feel like you needed one more. You needed him to die in Justice League, and bring back by the But see, that's another thing too. I didn't like how he was brought back by the mother box. I did not like that one bit. I wanted him because if you remember in BVS, the ground's going up. You notice that? Yeah. I thought he was just gonna
do it on his own,
hibernate on it, or whatever you want to reincarnate on his own. Which would have been a lot better. Reincarnate in the black suits, which got edited out, of course. That's supposed to be in Snyder's cut. I really hated that. I hated it so much. So then why even give us that scene in the very end then? You know what I'm saying? It didn't make any sense. And I was, and the same thing could have happened because, the animation film that came out, which was Doomsday, Superman Doomsday, he comes back on his own, but he has to, he's in there for months and his Kryptonian cells are just trying to come back, regenerate. And he, of course, he uses the sun to regenerate. So that's what I'm saying. It just, I feel like they should have done that route. Just use the common knowledge that you have. Don't start creating these different things of using the mother box to reincarnate Superman. And then, I didn't like that. And then, of course, the Superman, how he came out, he was just way too aggressive and weird. I don't know. I didn't like the way when he came out and just took out everybody, and then Batman was all like, he's out, he's so scared of him. Dude, what? Bro, that's not Batman.
I like that fight. That's one thing that I do want is the Superman versus the Justice League. That was cool. I liked it. I didn't like, of course, his mustache or anything like that. Like that was, I hated that.
See, that's one for us then, because I did not like how Batman wasn't prepared for anything. Like, dude, this is Batman. I mean, he's detective. I mean, he's always prepared for everything. You know, even in all his movies, he's just literally prepared for something. Yeah. But it is just like, oh, I'm out of plans. All I had was Superman. That was it. Like, it was just like, what? You're not Batman. Like, Batman has always had a backup plan. You know, like he's always had a backup plan of the backup plan. Like he's always been able to always come out in some way or in another. And that's why I really did not like that. It wasn't the realistic Batman that I'm used to, I guess. But that and then it just and then he tosses Batman like nothing. Like you remember that scene where he sees Lois and he's just like you just hear like I was like, really, dude, really, this guy's just gonna toss Batman. Like, dude.
They did that for the fun aspect. I'm not defending that. I know they did it for the last.
They try to add more comedy.
I'm pretty sure that was Josh Whedon stuff.
I didn't like that.
But I mean, technically, Superman can toss Batman like that if he's not prepared or if he has his defenses down, which I think. I mean, he did obviously. I agree. There were certain things looking back, and you know, I'm not so hard on Batman because I'm more of a Superman fan. Yeah. Which I still have problems with certain decisions they make on Superman. And as far as the motherboard, I didn't have a lot of problem with that. Just because I know why they did it. Like I know they needed in the comic books and in the animated movie, like you said, it just happens on your own, on his own. But I think they really wanted to make it a point as to what can bring the Justice League together besides Steppenwolf and stuff like that. It's the search to bring him back. And one thing I will defend about Justice League as a whole, even the one that we got, is that I think subconsciously, for some people it was more obvious, but subconsciously, I think it made people realize that they miss or care more about Superman than they thought, because Superman has always had a bad rep. And even the reason why they killed him in the comics was because of that. He wasn't selling very well. A lot of people were tired of the Boy Scout thing, and he's too good, he's too powerful, he's boring, so they killed him off. And the comic book that kills him off sells out. Yeah. And it made people realize that they miss Superman. So I think Justice League, although not executed to perfection or to excellence, Justice League did a good job, even with its marketing, not showing Superman until the very last trailer, and it was just Clark in a dream-like sequence.
Yes, yeah. Him and Lois were in the
they made where's Superman? They made him the talk and the question and the intrigue behind, well, where is he going to show up? And so I think a lot of people realized at that point of time, hey, maybe you care about him more than you think, or maybe you miss him, or he's a vital point.
And I agree with you there. I mean, Superman, I mean, he was the main point, but I just feel like they put him too much on a pedestal to where like, oh, if we're not the Justice League, like we need Superman in order to complete I mean, obviously you need Superman to complete the Justice League, but it's just they relied too much on him. But then again, that's probably just the way they set it up, because the first DC cinematic movie was Man of Steel. So I guess I could walk behind that. Henry Cavill, I actually loved him as Superman. I loved him as Superman. I had no problem with him whatsoever. That boy is built. That boy is Superman. I mean, dude, even with the beard and everything, I follow his Instagram. I mean, he is just wow. That guy's always working out, walking his dog, and it just I love Henry Cavill. Now, as far as negotiations and contracts and everything, why is Warner Brothers hesitant? I have no idea.
I don't know.
It beats us. Either. I don't know. I think I'm just speculating. Of course, take this with a grain of salt. It's evolving money. Let's be honest. Maybe Henry Cavill's asking too much. Maybe he's like, hey, I'm Superman now. I'm the most iconic character you have. Yeah, I'm the most iconic character you have now. You will revolve everything around me. Shazam was revolved around me too, even at the very end. Like it just, even though it wasn't really him in the Superman suit. Yeah. But it shows how much they really started off the DCU with Man of Steel. They showed that a lot in Shazam too as well. And then we got Black Adam coming out, which is going to be another killer. And I'm actually so freaking excited for Black Adam that wow, I'm excited for that. But so the Zack Snyder cut, so you're excited to see it. You can't wait to see it, right?
Yeah, I can't wait. I like, once again, that they're spending that extra money finishing it. I would have been fine with just give us what you have, and I just would have had that expectation. But the fact that they're spending the money and things like that, once again, I think the Snyder Cut has a potential to bring a breath of fresh air.
It does.
And it has the attention from the loyal fans that have been asking for it, but even the haters, I think they're gonna have to tune in. They're gonna have to see what
everybody's gonna watch. See, that's the thing though. These trolls, these sons of these keyboard cowards, you keyboard cowards out there, you guys are always gonna want to watch these movies. Let's be honest. Okay, I did not like Thor Ragnarok. I did not. I know I'm one of the few people that did not like Thor Ragnarok. It felt too much like Guardians feel because of the colors and the everything. And a lot of people did not like Thor Dark World. I actually one of the few that loved Thor Dark World. I loved it because the way, see, that's the funny thing. That's the great thing that you mentioned that. I'm still gonna watch this. Obviously, the Zack Snyder cut. Everyone's gonna watch this. I mean, let's be honest here.
Yeah.
And a lot of tweets I saw a lot of Twitter via Twitter as well was that a lot of people are saying like, oh, the reason why HBO Max is coming out, it's gonna go to HBO Max is because they don't have any content. They're not gonna have any original content because that this is their way of getting subscribers, which is not a bad move. And I could see this as a marketing move. This is the best move for you because this is what the fans have been wanting. We've been wanting this for roughly 2 years now. I mean,
2 years. By the time this comes out, it'll be north of 3 years.
Yeah, so exactly. So we've been asking for this. There's been a movement. There's been movements for this. I mean, pensions. I mean, just you name it. There's been everything for this. And
I have a theory.
Yeah. Oh, what's up?
I have it real quick. I have a theory. Let's say it blows it out of the water. Let's say people love it. There'll be haters. It's not going to convert haters, like I said.
But they still effing love it.
But let's say people love it. Let's say the HBO numbers are off the roof.
Yeah.
The reason why I think they're spending the money as well.
Yeah.
Aside from
that's a lot of money though. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Dude.
Besides the fact that before
it's already made
before Endgame, this was the highest the most expensive movie.
Yeah.
Before Endgame. Endgame and Infinity War beat it. But before that, this was the highest, more expensive movie, adjusting for inflation and everything. But the reason I think they're spending the money, besides it being a great thing to release on HBO Max, is if it does good enough and it blows out of the water and it outdoes expectations, I think they may just canonize this. I think they may just make it canon, scrap the Justice League we got. Because if you think about it, every movie we've gotten after that,
it's totally different. It's shifted.
Shazam, Aquaman, and I'm assuming Wonder Woman 2.
Dude, that movie looks great. Wonder Woman 2 looks so freaking great. I can't wait to see that movie later this year. And I want to see that movie in the theater. I do want to see that movie in the theater. Yeah.
No, it deserves that spot on the theater. Yeah. But I'm just thinking, none of those movies have put me in a world where this movie couldn't lead up to it.
Yeah, and
you know what I'm saying? So
to that, great that you brought that up. So like, I'm gonna go along with that too. Is that they haven't really touched base? So it's not like they haven't mentioned like, oh, we got together. It's weird. They're not mentioning that they were together. The Justice League. It's weird. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not mentioning in the stories or in the, even in the they're not mentioning it. So I'm
isolated.
Like, maybe they're softly just letting it go, like fade away, get away.
Yeah, and if this does really good. What if they just say, you know what?
We got together. We got together now. Aquaman 2. We got together. We were together in Aquaman 1. Yeah. Oh yeah. We got way together.
I just think I'm saying that's a possibility. I'm not saying it's not.
I agree with you there. Should that happen?
Likely to happen. But if
should that happen, it will. Yeah. I have a feeling though that if it does happen, Warner Bros is going to do it. Guaranteed. They're gonna. Yeah. Oh hell.
They have no reason.
Whatever makes them that money. Whatever makes them that money, man. That's all that matters when it comes down to it's the business decision. Everything is when it comes down to it. And I'm just surprised they're putting that much money into Zack's. Like they already spent so many millions of dollars making this movie already.
Yeah.
And then they came in, they're like, oh no, Zack, you're not doing it after all, all this stuff. And came in. Yeah.
And you know what? It's being said that the reason why the Snyder Cut was finally greenlit after already being shut down by previous executives and things like that. I heard they had a screening for not moviegoers, but they had an executive screening earlier in this year, and that's what got things moving forward.
I have a problem with that, and they said that too when Justice League came out. and they said, "Oh, Justice League is good," the executives, I'm just like, man. I mean,
yeah, you can't always trust them.
I can't trust them for nothing. Not the Warner Brothers. Not even. I mean, I could trust Disney. I mean, Disney has a brand. You know, Disney's like the brand. You know, like it's just But I can't trust Warner Brothers executives for crap. No.
Well, but the thing is, the reason why this time I feel is a little different is because when it comes down to those first initial screenings for a movie, their choices are: we make money by releasing it, or we make no money by not releasing it.
Yeah.
Those are their choices when they're screening a movie that's set to come out.
Mm-hmm.
Or of course, there are other choices. Let's spend more money. This is different because they had a screening, allegedly, and they could have said, we made money off of Justice League already. We don't need to spend more money on a movie that already came out. B, let's say, hey, we didn't like that screening. We're not going to put a movie twice that gets a bad rep. Mm-hmm. We're not going to put Justice League again just for it to get trashed again.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm thinking they saw something that at least made them say, we're going to give you $30 million, $20 million, whatever it may be.
That's a lot.
And we're willing to release this movie again for the fans and for all these reasons. That's why I think this screening was different, because it made them greenlit something they didn't have to. They didn't have to. I'm glad they did, but they didn't have to. And so I'm thinking they saw something, and that just makes me more excited.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you there, but at the same time, I'm just like, the executives, they don't know.
You can't always trust them.
I can't
Some of them
trust them.
Haven't picked up a comic book.
I'm excited for this. I can't wait for this to happen. But at the same time, I'm just like, man, I'm just biting my tongue. I'm just like, I can't, like, I don't know, man. It leaves everyone with a bad taste. And it's funny too, because a lot of people that don't even respect it of the work of art, they say, oh, it's garbage. You know, it's garbage. It's trash. This is a very, 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 very shitty movie. Like, it just,
I just think there's little risk, because people are already trashing on Justice League, the one that we got.
Yeah.
So, like, the uber worst case scenario is they put out a movie that people get to trash once more, but it's the same story. It's just going to be deja vu, but that's the worst case scenario.
Yeah, that's the worst case scenario. Yeah.
The worst case scenario is they get to put another movie called Justice League that people get to hate all over again. And so that's why I feel like there's little risk. I think what there is to gain is more than what there is to lose, because it's not like they have furthered the DCEU in terms of a connected universe. They haven't, like you said. The following movies, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, they stand on its own.
Yeah.
And Shazam did the same, and Wonder Woman 84 is going to do the same, because it takes place in 1984. Maybe there'll be hints here and there, but they're not forwarding the connected universe. It's kind of at a stop. Had they already reconnected again and it's going well, don't risk it. Don't put the Snyder cut, because it may undo some things that you've done, but they haven't. And that's why I think there's very little risk to this.
In the comments, Ted, he's with Countdown City Geekcast, another movie talk show here in San Antonio, Texas. Ted says Jim Lee was there with the executives. So I'm just like,
for the screening, because I think Jim Lee was brought on board to draw the concepts for both Batman v Superman and Justice League.
Okay.
I don't know how much input he had creatively. I know he is someone that they touch base with, but from my understanding, Jim Lee helped cook up some of the concepts art-wise. So I mean, I feel like he knows some of the story, but at the same time, I still can't say, like, comic book people that know how to run comic books and write them.
Exactly. It's not the same. It's not.
It doesn't mean you're a showrunner, and it doesn't mean you're a movie producer.
It's just that you're great at your comics. Just stick to what you know.
Your input is valuable. Yeah.
It's valuable. Man, you say everything so nice, man. I love you, Lex. You do everything so nice. You're not the Lex Luthor that I thought you were. I was kidding. You do everything so nice. You don't pull people down, which is, like, my role. You're crap. I was kidding. You keyboard cowards. But yeah, so I'm excited for this. I can't wait for this to happen next year. But yeah, any more final thoughts, man? Now we said we were gonna do this 30 minutes. It's been an hour and 10 minutes.
A lot of juicy stuff to cover.
Yeah, a lot of juicy stuff, but we never really talked about Justice League. So thanks for coming on the show with me once again.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we never talked about Justice League. We never talked about BVS. And yeah. So I mean, any final thoughts that you want to say about this Zack Snyder cut? Did you like? I love the posters. That's the one thing I did love. I love the posters, even though they're kind of simple, black and white. I mean, I love the posters. Zack Snyder. I love how Zack just has his big old name. I'm a brand now, guys. It's not even one of those. All HBO's all tiny. It's all a little tiny thing at the bottom.
Yeah, I mean that once again, even the posters having his name that big, it just tells me they saw something and they trust it, and I think it's once again, even if they don't canonize it, let's say it's just a standoff thing, it'll feel like an animated movie. Not all the animated movies are connected.
Yeah.
Some of them are canon, some of them are just offside quest or whatever. I'm just glad once again they're doing an extreme service to the fans who've been wanting this, and some might have even given up on this. So kudos to the HBO Max team and the executives at Warner Brother that approved this, and they're letting they're leaving at least no questions on the table anymore. Once this is seen, we'll get to see the true vision of Zack Snyder. We can't guarantee it's good. We can't guarantee it'll be successful, but we can guarantee it'll be his vision.
Different, yes, guaranteed.
And different. And that's all I'm happy about. And that's all I could expect.
I'm happy about it too. I'm so excited. I'm just happy to see a different take on it. I really am. I'm just at a bad taste in my mouth once again. I'm really hesitant on it. I really am. Are we going to see different CGI too at the same time? Is everything going to be different? Is everything going to be still CGI? Because the CGI was so poorly done in this movie. It just felt like an indie film. It was just so poorly done. I hated the CGI in this movie. It kept getting me out of the film. I was just like, bro, this is Warner Brothers. This is like... They've been around so long, making so many great films. Shawshank Redemption. I mean, that's the one film that came back to my mind, but that doesn't really have CGI. But just like just Warner Bros. Man. I mean, they're a huge market. This is it, And I'm just at the same time though. I'm just like I want this to succeed. I do. I really do.
Do you watch the Office by chance?
No, my buddy Justin does. He watches The Office, but I don't. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. I watch the pranks.
Even for fans, all I wanted to do kind of like as an end note for myself is just like, it's that scene where Michael says, no question about it, I'm ready to get hurt again. That's just like, once again, I'm here, I'm supporting this, I'm going to be all hype, and hopefully there's a payoff.
Awesome. All right, man. All right, guys. If you haven't already, thank you for watching us on the Facebook, because we went Facebook Live, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't already, guys, be sure to subscribe to Alamo City Movie Talk. It's gonna be right here, ladies and gentlemen, on YouTube. Pretty much follow us. We always do movie reviews, not just superhero movies, but movie reviews in general. We do it. We just got done watching. Me and my wife just got done watching Military Wives that we reviewed. We're able to get videos on demand now. So weird right now in theaters. It's weird watching movies from home. I don't like it because it makes me get tempted to look at my phone. I don't know why. It just, and I'm just like, oh man, I gotta watch this film. I gotta write notes and everything. And I'm just like, I miss the theater. Do you miss the theater?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. When you, I guess real quick, just a side note, don't go too much into depth, but when do you think theaters, or what is your assumption when theaters, I guess, when we can go back? I mean, obviously they're open up right now. Santikos is opened up. Alamo Drafthouse has not opened up, which I thought was actually not bad of a move for them because they want to be more precautious. Is there I thought it was going to be, I'm thinking it's going to be officially when all the theaters open up. I think it's going to be in the middle of June, I would say.
I think when does Tenet come out?
Tenet comes out the end of July, in the middle of July, the 17th. Yeah, in the teens.
I think all parties are going to be on. Should Tenet keep their
release date?
Their release date, which I think they did because they wouldn't have released this trailer at this point in time if they're not sure that they're going to keep it. They're going to keep it. I think all movie theaters are going to be on board to open by that date. I still don't think it's going to be the normal. way that we used to go to movie theaters, but I think most players are holding off right now because there's nothing to put out, and the things that there is not going to make enough money for you to have your employees on payroll again and all that stuff. So I think Tenet is the staple of when all theaters are going to be aligned and opening. So I'm expecting by July, you'll start seeing at least the mass all movie theaters are open again.
If you haven't already, Lex, be sure to check out my teaser trailer reaction, man. Me and my wife, we react to it, and
I haven't seen the trailer, so I'm holding off for that. So I'll watch the trailer tonight, and then I'll watch the teaser reaction.
Yeah, be sure to check it out. Right now, it's been 22 hours. It has 1,200 views.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, so it just me and my wife, we did love. I mean, it's a great trailer. I really like. It's another trip, and it's funny too because Robert Pattinson said like, oh, it's not time travel, but like. I don't know. It leaves it up a cliffhanger for sure.
I'm excited to watch it. I tried watching it yesterday. I was at work and work got busy, so I was like, let me put it off. And I didn't finish watching it yesterday, so I'm gonna watch it. I saw like the first 10 seconds and I stopped.
Okay. No, sounds good, man. All right, so be prepared tomorrow. We're gonna be, ladies and gentlemen, moviegoers out there. We're gonna be talking about us and our better halves. We're gonna bring them in on this. We're gonna talk about Disney, ladies and gentlemen, everything Disney related, guys, where we talk about the Disney parks, what to anticipate, and all this stuff. Because come to find out, me and Lex were at Disney World at the same time this in November. Yeah, which is crazy. I was like, what the heck? I was all like, where park are you at? Well, I'm here. And I was like, oh, okay,
I think we were just like 3 days away from one another, like arrival and everything.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I was like, what the heck? And I was like, man, and then I kept seeing your Instagram post and your Facebook post. I was like, damn, this guy's eating at Cinderella's castle. I was like, dang, man, let me find out, man. All fat Mr. Fancy over there.
Yeah, man, I'm excited for that as well. We'll make sure we give you guys a great show.
Awesome, man. All right, well, thanks for coming on the show again.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah. So, where can people find you at again? What was the podcast called?
Yeah, not in theaters. We're on all major platforms.
Awesome.
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Stitcher. But yeah, we have a good catalog once again, guys. About 21 episodes or so. So catch up, have fun, and hopefully we make you guys laugh.
Awesome. And be sure to check out his content, guys. Apple, iTunes, wherever a podcast could be found, you could be able to find Not in Theaters, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Thank you, guys. Have yourself. Hopefully, everyone has a great Friday night. Not getting too drunk at the bars because we're limited to the bars right now. Even though you won't see me at the bar, I'll be at home resting, guys.
Yeah, man. Same here.
Right. All right, man. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.